I'm here on the first one is the and I'm also a member of the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. CCM is Connecticut Statewide Association of 56 cities. Our members represent over 95% of the Connecticut population. And I'm speaking in opposition of HB 5092, an act concerning the discontinuance of highways and private ways by municipalities. The bill attempts to clarify the process applicable to municipal discontinuance of highways or private rights of way. In doing so, rewrites the highway discontinuance statute, which has been on the books at least since 1838. This proposal is also the same as H. Bill 6637, which was considered during the 2013 legislative session, and HB 5448 that was considered last year. Connecticut General Statute 13A-49 currently authorizes the Board of Selectmen, with the approval of a town meeting, to discontinue all or a portion of a public highway which is not used or needed for public travel. When a highway is discontinued, the public's right to use the highway is terminated. It preserves an abutting property owner's rights to continue to use the roadbed as the highway for access and utility service as a private right-of-way in common with other abutting owners. The statute was enacted in 1959 to relieve municipalities of lawsuits or damages by property owners when highways were discontinued. In discontinuing a public highway, the Selectmen act as agents of the law and must strictly follow statutory procedure. If not, the discontinuance will fail, resulting in legal liability for the town. Highway discontinuances are necessary because municipalities can be held responsible under Connecticut General Statute 13A-149 for injury to persons or damage to motor vehicles caused by highway defects. Most of the highways which are discontinued are narrow, winding, unimproved dirt roads which are dangerous to travel and expensive to maintain. And I will say that in the town of Litchfield, we have in essence approximately 10 to 12 miles of roads that are not used, not maintained, and could be discontinued in the future. Many of these highways pass through large parcels of undeveloped land which attract developers who then go to court to force the municipality to open the road to improve it to today's safety standards so they can subdivide and sell lots. Many of these roads are not passable for use by fire trucks, ambulances, or school buses, and should not be open to development at the town's expense. In fact, some of the roads in Litchfield are no more than cow paths now. HB 5448, however, makes drastic changes to current practice by shifting the burden of determining the location and limits of unimproved highways to the municipality, and adds the obligation to notify each abutting property owner of any meeting to discuss the discontinuance. And the bill enlarges the existing right to appeal to Superior Court under the Connecticut General Statute 13A-62 for failure to receive notice of discontinuance. This section of the law applies to the layout of a new public highway, which is rarely done by a municipality. It will also now be used by developers to leverage municipal improvements to highways which the town no longer uses and would otherwise discontinue. There are already adequate public safeguards in present law that protect property owners, which have worked very well for many years, such as the Board of Selectmen must refer the discontinuance to Planning Zoning Commission for review and report under the Town Plans Conservation and Development. Board of Selectmen must refer the discontinuance to legally noticed public town meeting where every voter and property owner has a say. Then the Board of Selectmen must vote whether or not to discontinue the highway and record the notice in the town clerk's office. Property owners have statutory rights of access and utility service under Connecticut General Statute 13A-55 and thereby protected. The municipality is relieved of liability for highway maintenance defects and unwanted development in remote areas and is not subjected to lawsuits for highway discontinuances. The bill takes the law in the wrong direction by creating an unfunded mandate and expanding municipal liability. For these reasons, CCM asks the committee to oppose HB 5092. There are some options that could be used if this bill were to go forward. Reduce the amount of time for an appeal from 2 years to 6 months. That's more reasonable. The 2 years puts everybody in limbo. If a town discontinues the road, legally the road is not discontinued until the 2 years passes, giving people the opportunity to appeal if they feel that they've not been notified. Somebody could live in China And we've attempted to notify them, and the letter could keep coming back and coming back, and if they get failed notice, if they return to the United States, move back into the community, they can say, hey, I was not notified, and then it's our responsibility to prove that we have, and that's a court process. The other thing is that another fix might be to require, there's a good part of the bill, I think, and that's requiring communities to put the information of a discontinued road and put it into the land records within the town. I think that's a good thing. By practice, the town of Litchfield does just that. The other thing is that there is a number of meetings that, through the process of a discontinuance of a road, Board of Selectmen has a discussion about whether it's going to be discontinued. We have a long conversation about why, what, when, where, and how. That's a public meeting, notice in the town clerk's office, followed by a public meeting to discuss it in the Planning and Zoning Committee. That's another meeting. The third meeting is another Board of Selectmen meeting where the Board of Selectmen